Joining me now is Florida Congressman Byron Donalds and Horace Cooper, co-chair of Project 21. Congressman, again, Kaepernick is just the vessel, the most recent vessel for the left's, poisonous hatred that they're pouring into this country. But when adoptive parents of a minority child get hit across the face, again, we don't know what happened in his household, you kind of see where this has all taken us.
I mean, look, Laura, first things first. I mean, his parents decided to adopt him out of the goodness of their heart. They raised him. Part of his success being an NFL quarterback is part of what they did, instilling and nurturing in him in his life. I just couldn't imagine, doing that to somebody who raised you. I think about my mom. My mom said a lot of tough things to me growing up about how I'm supposed to comport myself and carry myself as an individual in America. And so to write a book about that, I just couldn't get there. And so that's the thing that's problematic about this, because they decided to make a decision for themselves to care for him. And so in my view, to not honor them, I just think is wrong.
Yeah, it's an anecdote in a graphic novel about his life. But Horace, the point is the theme that America is racist sells in publishing companies, including Kaepernick's own publishing company, but it sells. And by the way, he used another interview yesterday to display his utter contempt for the white culture. Watch.
To really take hold of my blackness and do it in a way that I was proud of and I was excited about. And the difficulty with that is being in white culture. So it's trying to navigate that while having a white family and being in a predominantly white community and trying to find ways to make sure that my identity and my blackness isn't stripped from me.
Horace, a lot of navel gazing going on here. What do you make of all of this?
It just tells me racism is so awful in America that Colin Kaepernick's little coloring book is likely going to be a bestseller because everybody is on the racism train. I look at this story of his life, and what I see is a life that many millions of Americans would be grateful for, would find it an amazing story of the possibilities of what makes America. Here's a man who is living a life where parents do the very kinds of things that they do every single day. We call these loving parents to make it possible for you to be a success. If my mother and father and my grandmother hadn't intervened to influence me, which, by the way, Colin Kaepernick would probably call them racist too, even though they're all black, I wouldn't be sitting right here today. You got Prince Harry, you got Colin Kaepernick, two super privileged people complaining about how they grew up. Amazing.
Congressman Donalds, you think of what's happened to our inner cities, especially our schools, at the hands of the party that Kaepernick is most closely aligned to, obviously the left, the Democrats. That's the real carnage in America. I mean, he grew up in a privileged community. Good for him. Parents, I don't know them, but gosh, he seemed like he was very appreciative of them for most of his career. But he has to sell a book and a comic book and a Netflix special, and suddenly, they might as well be wearing, white hoods. But what do you make of this obsession with victimology and selling victimology to young people? Is it not a very cynical view of this country?
It absolutely is. But real quick, Laura, I'm coming back to one thing. I remember my own mother talking about different hairdos and hairstyles, cornrows and the like. And she was like, no, you can't do that. This is the way you're going to carry yourself. That's how you're going to do your hair and all that stuff. It's going to be nice. It's going to be cut nice. And that's what you're going to do. Now, to the victimology from the left, this is one of the things that's a real cancer in our country, because the ills of our past are what they are. The civil rights movement is the thing that everybody should study, all the fights, all the struggles. But to try to weaponize that into the minds of young black kids today who are in a far better position than any era of black individuals in the history of our country is outrageous. Right. And it is a defeating proposition for these young people, because it doesn't help them understand to fully take into account their own agency with all the opportunities they have in America today. I think it's destructive of the country.
Again, where's hope and change? Obama was all about optimism and tomorrow is going to be better than today. Apparently, nothing's ever going to get better under their policies, and so they just have to stay on the, as Horace called it, the race train. Congressman and Horace, thank you.